All eyes ahead for 2019. We're here to report on the future of the Dallas Cowboys. We move forward with new coaches. We break down the draft, fine-tune the roster, and ask who's getting paid and who's got to wait. And, as usual, we bring you insider access to OTAs and minicamps, priming you for 2019. We're the Blitz, and we're bringing it all to you, straight from the Star.
Brand new episode of The Blitz begins right now. Lindsey Draper and Bill Jones. Cowboys had OTAs this week. We got to see 90 guys out there. Some news we got to cover, but first things first. Without further delay, the most important news of the week, Bill Jones, it involved this guy. And not football, not even the sport.
Hey, we started last week with the Home Run Derby. The Cowboys involved in the Home Run Derby. I would have been the perfect pitcher for the Home Run Derby. I got to throw the first pitch at a Rangers game on Wednesday. This is me and my Beagles, Bo and Romo. Yes, named after Tony Romo. Those are my two pitching coaches, working in the backyard, getting set. Broke a trash can, by the way, out there, but I did not throw with such velocity when I finally got the opportunity on Wednesday afternoon.
Is that Globe Life Park?
That is Globe Life Park.
Nervous.
Look, it was nerve-wracking. And you don't understand until you get out there on a major league pitching mound how far away home plate actually is.
There it is.
My
the
slow walk
to
the mound, and I can't tell you how nervous I was at this point.
I stay at the park, though, right?
And especially once you get to the mound and then you'll peer in and you realize, I have no idea where this ball is going. Just throw it as slow as you can, and that's exactly what I did.
That's a strike. That is a look at this.
At that paint in the corner. That was my tribute to Charlie Huff, the knuckleball.
Wow, that's so exciting. Like, seriously, what a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
It was fun, and hopefully I get another opportunity and I can do a Nolan Ryan impersonation and throw a fastball that will land about 15 feet in front of me in the grass.
Attention to detail. Bill Jones, expect nothing less. Let's get into the Cowboys OTAs. Now, of course, take precautionary measures here. You don't want to run all your veterans out there, but there is a laundry list of players, Bill, that are not practicing either because of injury or coming off surgery. A little nerve-wracking.
Well, no cause for concern right now, though, because it is Memorial Day weekend. But when you look at the list, yeah, there are some big names on the list, and as expected, the DeMarcus Lawrences of the world, the Byron Joneses, and the ones coming off surgeries in the offseason. Got a couple of three veterans there in Tyron Smith, Jason Witten, and Sean Lee, already getting veteran days off. The first open session of OTAs, but they don't need to be out there right now. This is a time for young players to show it.
It is indeed, and technically not coming off an actual injury, but Travis Frederick, boy, was it good to see him out there, even if he was off working to the side in individual drills.
His injury or his issue was one that we hadn't seen a whole lot of. So just how we handle that as a team, as an organization, as a medical staff, and how he handles it, it was a little bit uncharted territory for us. But you heard me say many times, he was incredible for our team last year and how we stayed involved in absolutely everything we did. Every meeting, every walkthrough, every practice, every game, he was right there. And I do think the work that he was doing on the side beyond that was helping him. And I thought he got stronger as the year went on. And, towards the end of the year and into the early part of the offseason, he was getting closer and closer and closer physically to what he had been. So he'll continue through that process. And it's very encouraging. It's very inspirational to see him come back. He's been such a good player for us and such a good leader for us.
Of course, Travis has for a long time now been one of the core foundation members of this team, and it's just great to see him out there, and he is on track and doesn't need to be involved in the team stuff right now. It's good, though, seeing him working on the side with Lyle Collins as he continues to make progress, and the hope is he'll be raring to go come training camp.
Yep, and I know no one would be more happy than Dak Prescott. It's year 4 for number 4, and he met with the media this week and got right into the contract negotiation talk.
Yeah, I think when you look at numbers, I think a lot of it's about the market. So I don't really pay attention to any of that. I come in and I just prove myself each and every day to these other guys in this locker room. That's the only thing that I have to worry about. And I know if I'm doing that and getting better, good things happen. So that's out of my focus. As I said before, I've got a great team in place to handle that, and it'll get done eventually.
And I tell you what, Dak looks great out there. He is, not that he needed to slim down, but he looks like he's in great shape. And, of course, his leadership abilities are off the chart. And that contract stuff, that is, it may be on the front burner for a lot of us, you know, but it's on the, seems like it's on the back burner for him right now.
He's handled it just like he has everything else, very professionally. Way to go, Dak. We're taking a quick break, but when we come back, we're going upstairs to the bullpen to check in with Nick Eatman, who's getting prepared right now to tell us who stuck out to him at OTAs.
The Dallas Cowboys Blitz is brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. And by Dallas Cowboys Football Club. For the ultimate Dallas Cowboys experience, tour the Star in Frisco, where the Cowboys train and work. For more information, visit thestarinfrisco.com/tours. This segment is brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing.
Here on the Blitz, we've got to talk about OTAs, and we just spent a few minutes, Bill, discussing who isn't here, who isn't participating because of all the injuries, but how about we talk about who was here for a change?
Sounds like a good idea, and how about we go to the bullpen? A call to the bullpen, the writers' bullpen here at the Star in Frisco. Nick Eatman joins us now with some first impressions from OTAs, and let's start with one of those draft picks, Nick. How about the fourth-rounder Tony Pollard, a running back / wide receiver / kick return guy out of Memphis?
Well, you know, anytime you're talking about practice and running backs, they always tell them run all the way to the end zone. So everybody scores in a practice, but you can definitely tell that he's got some juice to him. And even though he's not getting, knocked to the ground, he does have some ability to get through that hole quickly. And you can tell that he's going to be, he has the ability to be a dynamic, game-changing type player. Let's see how the Cowboys use him. But I think just some first impressions for him when he hits that hole, you can tell there's a difference there. And I know that they compared him to Alvin Kamara. We'll see, but you can see just from the early impressions of practice that he does look pretty good. He's got some of that juice.
Yeah, he was extremely fun to watch on a couple of those plays, Nick. And I want to ask you, I had a chance to talk with wide receivers coach Sanjay Lal a little bit after practice and just threw out the question, hey, do any of the young guys stick out to you? Did anyone catch your eye? And he mentioned Jon'Vea Johnson from Toledo because he said, we already knew he could do a lot of these things, but to see him actually do it now was surprising.
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of what I was saying earlier about just, when the OTAs, you can't really tell about the linemen and how, somebody making tackles or whatever, but you can tell receivers that are quick, do they make the catch or do they not? And he was making a lot of catches. He's got a lot of quickness. He's got some burst to him. Jon'Vea Johnson's a guy that, he not only caught the coach's eye, but everyone else's as well. So he's somebody to keep an eye on there. And that whole wide receiver position, after you get back from the top three guys, it's going to be anyone's guess, and so he has as good a shot as anyone really to get in there.
As you talk about Nick, you can't really tell a whole lot about the linemen during these OTAs, but we can tell who's lining up where in the OTAs. And of course, Connor Williams, who was strictly at left guard last year, lining up at left tackle in the first OTA open to the media.
Yeah, that was interesting because you also look at one thing you can also tell is just how a guy looks, and he's got that. You can tell he's gained some weight. He looks like a guard, and then now he's playing some at tackle. But this is the time of year to see where these guys can move, and obviously you have contract situations in the next year or so. La'el Collins this will be the last year of his contract, so they're kind of just looking to see down the road and also contingency plans. I do think that the left guard is going to be Connor Williams, but with Travis Frederick's situation the way it is, you just want to see all across the line who can do what, and so it won't surprise me that if at some point Connor Williams plays tackle, but I don't think it's going to be right now or this year, but this is the time to see what he can do. He
definitely looks like a different person out there. Yeah. Nick, you mentioned with the receivers group that it's anyone's guess. Well, when it comes to Dak Prescott, I think fans want to know. Mm-hmm. You look at the receiver group, there's some new names and there's not a lot of depth there. So how did it go with guys like Michael Gallup and players who are going to have to step up this year?
I think last year Michael Gallup could have had a completely different year if they would have connected on maybe a handful of more passes. And there's a lot of times he was streaking down the field and he just didn't connect with Dak or vice versa. Whatever happened, they did not get on some of those deep balls. I think that could be the difference of a really big season for Gallup. And so you did see that some in practice this week. He had a couple of nice catches down the field. Dak really hit him there. So maybe it's a sign of something to come. But if they can get on the same page and really get that deep ball working, you know what Cooper's going to do underneath, and with Witten back and the running backs, that could just be another weapon to this offense.
All right, Nick, thanks so much. Have a good Memorial Day, and we'll see you next week for more OTAs. All right, guys, taking a quick break here from the studio, but when we come back, Ezekiel Elliott is in the news, and we're installing a brand new segment to discuss and debate it all next on The Blitz.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing. That's our thing. This segment is brought to you by Formation. Work the Cowboys way at the Star in Frisco. Formation offers workspaces, dedicated desks, and private offices. For more information, visit formationatthestar.com.
And welcome back to The Blitz, your Dallas Cowboys report on this Memorial Day weekend. Time to debut a new segment here on The Blitz. It's Point Counterpoint. And here's Lindsay.
Got to pay Dak Prescott.
I threw out the name Ezekiel Elliott. What do you guys think?
This offense was atrocious before he got here.
A guy at his age doing what he did, he's only going to get better.
Point Counterpoint time here in the studio. David Hellman and Brian Broaddus are joining me, and we got to get to some news of the week. So what we are going to be debating today is, does the Vegas Ezekiel Elliott video have any implications, guys, on his contract talks? It doesn't seem that his negotiations are at the forefront of what the Cowboys are trying to get done. Jason Garrett declined to comment. Ezekiel Elliott didn't speak to the media this week in locker room. So we're kind of in the dark. What are you guys thinking about the video, which we know is a little wishy-washy?
Start this
yeah,
thing
I'll
off?
start this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will. My experience of being in a front office, though, is that always there's things that do affect the way you look at your team. And, if you have people or you have players that have problems, this is something that you always have to feel about or look into. And I feel like with Ezekiel Elliott, it's a little bit like an alcoholic, though. Once he could go 8-9 months without a drink and then all of a sudden take a drink, then all of a sudden now you're back to where you started at one time. So to me, yes, this very much affects the way the Cowboys are looking at it, because the off the field problems with Elliott have been major. And the next time that he goes before the commissioner might be his last. Yes, this affects his contract negotiations.
This shouldn't be a surprise to the Dallas Cowboys. They take this whole thing as one giant picture. Yes, Ezekiel Elliott has had a great offseason. He's done a lot of good things for the community. He paid for the funeral expenses for a young football player. It was a great gesture. He's been out, like I said, he's been out in the community doing a lot of great stuff. He's still a 23-year-old guy who we all know likes to go out and have fun. He has run afoul of the NFL's disciplinary standard before. It happened less than 2 years ago. So this isn't news to the Cowboys. This is the whole picture of Ezekiel Elliott. You get the All-Pro. You get the guy who, to this point in his career, you can't feel 100% comfortable with. And I don't think a situation where, to reemphasize, he wasn't arrested and wasn't charged with anything, I don't think that drastically alters their opinion of what they already knew about him.
Yeah, but you're playing roulette with the NFL. And that's
You could be.
Yeah, and anything,
so
that's the problem. That's the problem that I have.
Did you not think all of that 2 months ago? Like, you needed to see this video to already know that was possible.
Things were going along very well.
But that's
then
my
all
point.
of a sudden, now you're in a situation where he's going to have to go in front of the commissioner.
I don't think 4 or 5 instances of good publicity, which was great. I'm not knocking Zeke for that. I don't think 4 or 5 instances of good publicity changes the Cowboys' mindset that this is something that they have to deal with. So if they were willing to pay him 2 months ago, they should be equally willing to pay him right now, based on what we've seen right now. So
Gonna have to just call it a day right here. We might be able to visit this in the future. Brian Broaddus, David Hellman. We'll be back on this topic and much more to come.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. And up next here on The Blitz, Danny Sarek joins the show, and she's going to take a look at a local player who is raising some eyebrows here at camp.
This segment was brought to you by Formation. Work the Cowboys way at the Star in Frisco. Formation offers workspaces, dedicated desks, and private offices. For more information, visit formationatthestar.com.
We're back here on the Blitz, welcoming Danny Sarek to the show, who, Danny, got a one-on-one with a player who you think may have a chance to make this team. Danny?
That's right, Lindsay. Wide receiver Jalen Guyton grew up not far from the Star, where he was a 3-time state champion at Allen High School. Guyton redshirted his freshman year at Notre Dame before attending junior college for a year and then the University of North Texas for the last 2. Guyton went undrafted in this year's draft, however, says he has the professional mindset to make it in the pros. Guyton says that mindset is how he plans to stand out on the football field.
It kind of started at such a young age. It kind of is instilled into you. Just, you know, it becomes, like I said, a lifestyle. So it's not even just something like I have to make it a habit. It becomes a human nature type of thing where it's just like, you know, through everything, through failure, through a lot of success, through hard times, good times, all that kind of stuff. Just, you know, keep working, stay true to who you are, and, you know, keep doing what you've always done. It's a lot of stuff that gets thrown at us these first couple weeks, and you know they make sure that, you know, a lot of the rookies and, you know, everybody that's new understands that, you know, you are going to make mistakes. It is a lot we're throwing at you, but it's our responsibility to learn from our mistakes. One thing I can control is my effort and the way I come to work every day, and hopefully I stand out in that regard.
As Guyton adjusts to playing football at the professional level, he says the hardest transition is staying relaxed while learning a new scheme.
Coach Garrett had pulled me and JV to the side, both of the rookie receivers, and he said if he had a smoke detector that he could put in our helmets, he said he could see steam coming out of our helmets on the way, breaking the huddles and stuff. And he basically meant, like, you guys are, you can tell your brain is working in overtime just to figure out where do I go, where do I line up. You kind of had to do some of that in college, but it's a lot more, you know, quick. It's a lot more you have to think about here. More than anything, I would say Coach Sanjay has helped us. He also, after Coach Garrett had talked to me and JV, he was standing right there and he stayed after and he just told us, look, just relax. You know, we brought you here because we know you can play. It's just about, you know, get comfortable with the scheme. Don't try to do too much.
Guyton signed with the Cowboys after going undrafted. He says he doesn't have any anger over not being drafted. However, it does add fuel to his fire.
I'm the type of person, even if I was drafted #1, it's in me to work and to grind and be relentless and give my full effort into everything that I do. I would like to think that, you know, in the grand scheme, you know, this is who I am, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I come to work and I come and I put my whole heart into every single practice, every single play, regardless of the success that I've had.
Guyton grew up a Cowboys fan and says he's still soaking in the excitement of playing with America's team.
I remember telling some people that, you know, if I end up playing for the Dallas Cowboys, you know, I would wake up in the morning and not feel like, you know, my life was real. I'd have to, you know, slap myself in the face or something, make sure I'm really up and I'm not still dreaming type of thing. So it's also understanding that, you know, it's still a long road to go and to just keep waking up and using that enthusiasm and using it to push forward and go harder.
Guyton says his family members who have supported him throughout his career are just as eager for him to play in the National Football League.
Now I'm on the biggest platform in Texas, so it won't be hard for them to keep up. And so, you know, it's definitely, like I said, it's a special moment just to be able to play for, you know, the hometown team and for it to be the Dallas Cowboys. So it's an absolute dream come true.
Guyton says one of the most special parts about playing football at all levels in the state of Texas was when he created rivalries at Allen High School. And then when he went to UNT, those rivals became his new teammates. Those new teammates would approach him and say, hey, I played you in high school. And Guyton said his first thought was, well, it doesn't really matter where you went to high school because I know you're one of our victims. The Allen Eagles won 43 consecutive games while Guyton was there.
You know, one thing that strikes me about him, he has a confidence level that is sky high. He's going to be an interesting player to watch this preseason.
Something you probably get when you play with Kyler Murray. I don't know. I don't have that experience. All right, thanks so much, Danny. We and Bill will be right back after this to wrap it all up for you right here on The Blitz.
The Dallas Cowboys Blitz was brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. And by Dallas Cowboys Football Club. For the ultimate Dallas Cowboys experience, tour the Star in Frisco, where the Cowboys train and work. For more information, visit thestarinfrisco.com/tours.
A new way to get your Dallas Cowboys news. Try it out. Say, Alexa, open Dallas Cowboys. You might hear something from Jason Garrett, Stephen Jones, a player. If you want a question answered, just go to dallascowboys.com/Alexa, and we'll hook it up.
That's how I start off my day. I say, Alexa, open Dallas Cowboys. And then I hear Lindsay Draper talk back to me.
Oh, am I on there? Wow, I didn't even know that. Wow. Okay, 2 months away from training camp. That's hard
Exactly 2 months away. It's going to be here before you know it.
Have a great Memorial Day weekend. We'll see you next week.